through a yoga practice today. So first things first, if you've never practiced before, just make sure that you have the okay from a physician to start something new, a new program. If you have been practicing for a while, then make sure to take it at your own speed. Every day is a different day when you come onto your mat, so especially if you have had a change in your sleep, maybe you've done some different exercises, there could be a whole bunch of different things that affect how you feel when you are practicing on your mat. So just take into consideration that if at any time anything feels not quite right, please just stop, and you can always pick this up another time. The other thing you need to make sure of is if you are in a location that is not a studio that is normally set up for yoga, make sure you have enough room to reach your hands out to the side, above, maybe do a couple of twists so that when we start to make our movements, we're not worried about hitting anything in and around our area. So just a couple of nice big movements to make sure that you are not going to reach out and knock anything over that's in your environment that you probably don't want to knock over. Other than that, I just want you to have some fun. Remember, this is exploring your body. It's learning about what your body is feeling like today, and then finding the imbalances that you may have in your body, and then targeting those ones. So every practice is specifically unique to you. It's not worrying about what I look like. It's not worrying about getting into any kind of perfect pose. There is no such thing as a perfect posture. It's all about an internal growth for yourself. So that being said, let's talk about getting into our bodies. We have a lot on our minds, whether you're coming to your practice first thing in the morning, maybe halfway through your day, maybe it's a little later at night. Anytime, we've still got tons of thoughts going on in our mind, and we want to really just kind of let those go because they're not really serving us at this moment. We are human, so we do think a lot, and that is the point of being human, to be able to think, but we also have to be able to turn that off and start to connect with also the biological side of our being, our physical component. So find a nice seated position or kick out a leg, whatever works for you. And then I just want you to roll your shoulders up, pull them back, and slide them down. We're just doing a couple of shoulder rotations just to start in with getting the alignment of the spine as well as pulling the shoulders back. So we're going to inhale all the way up, tall spine, exhale, long spine, but pull the shoulders back and down. Let's do that a couple more times. We'll lift your shoulders up to the ears, then pull them back, and then slide down. Now we're not pulling our ears back, we're pulling our shoulders back. Sometimes language is limited, and that we mean something, but we don't exactly describe it properly. So at any time during the video, I say something and you go, what is she talking about? Of course, feel free to stop. It's a little easier on a video than it is in a class, but feel free at any time to stop, pause the video, take a look, see what I'm doing, and maybe it's my wording that's wrong, not you in any way whatsoever. One more time, big inhale all the way up, pull back, and slide down. Let's go ahead and close our eyes now. Place your hands on your knees, palms up or palms down, that's a personal choice. Nice tall spine, and then take your chin and just tuck it in towards your chest. Then we're going to take our gaze all the way up, look up to the ceiling where your neck feels comfortable. And then exhale, bring the chin to chest, keep that spine nice and long. One more time, big inhale, looking all the way up. Exhale, bring the chin to the chest. We're going to take our chin over to our right shoulder, so look at that right shoulder, making a U shape, withdrawing that chin down through the chest and then up through the other side. We'll do this a couple of times. Just notice how your shoulders feel, how the connection is between your traps and your neck, your scalenes. A lot of things go on holding the head up. The head is quite heavy. And we tend to not hold it up directly stacked on top of our spine. It's usually a little forward, and that causes it to be a little heavier. If everything is stacked in proper alignment, then we have gravity pulling down on us in one straight line. If you're out of alignment, then things get a little bit heavier to carry because they're not stacked. So we're just starting to feel our range of motion. And then now that we've done this a couple times, let's bring our chin to our chest. We're going to inhale our hands all the way up, looking up into the sky. Turn your palms out. Bring them down by your side and your chin comes to your chest. Flip your palms up. Bring your gaze up, your hands up all the way to the ceiling. Turn the palms out. tuck the chin, stay stacked in the spine. 2 more times. Big inhale, rise it on up. Maybe those fingertips touch at the top. Turn those hands away. Exhale, come down. Let's really reach this time. Reach those fingers all the way to the side walls, up to the ceiling. Really turn the palms out and then bring it down by your sides. We're going to put our hands on our hips now. You're going to put your thumb into the small of the back where those 2 little divots would be. And then I just want you to roll your shoulders back and down. Once you've got this tall position, I just want you to lean forward just a little bit. Squeeze your elbows behind you and just lean forward and then sit back up again. One more time, watch my elbows as they squeeze behind. It's a nice big stretch through the front of the body and a squeezing in the back body. Okay, so now that you've got your hands on your hips, let's bring our shoulders to roll forward and your elbows are trying to touch as you curve your spine. Look at your belly button and then sit up nice and tall again. Okay, we're just looking for the range of motion at this moment. And then curve your spine, really curve it. Separate your shoulder blades, opposite to what I was asking you to do before. And then inhale all the way up, seated. One more time, bring the elbows together. Curl your spine. Tuck your chin in. And then come all the way up. We're going to put the 2 together. So lean forward, squeeze your elbows behind. Lead with your chest. Look forward. Then pull back around the spine. Squeeze the elbows in front of you. Your hands are like anchors on your hip bones. And you're just pressing lightly into your fingers when you curve forward. And then when you push back, you're using your thumbs to anchor. So we're just going to take a nice big inhale as you come forward. So let's do that. Inhale, push forward as much as you can. And then exhale all the air out of your lungs as you squeeze into a C shape. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Big squeeze in the back. Big curve of the spine. Inhale your hands all the way up. Interlace your fingers. Pointer fingers point to the sky and the other ones are interlaced. And squeeze your elbows in towards your ears so that they're touching. Sitting up nice and tall, keeping both butt cheeks attached to the mat. Just tip over to that right side. Left butt cheek must stay down. Inhale all the way up. Now we're getting into the side body. Okay, so we started with the spine, with the neck. Now we're getting into the side body. Just tip, mindful of your butt, not lifting. We don't want to go too far. It's not about how far you reach, but more about the stretch in the side. All right, one more time over to the right side. Really point those fingers far. Squeeze your arms into your ears. Over to the other side. And now with control, we're going to start with circles. So go over to the right side. Lean forward just a little bit. Circle it around. Come all the way over to the left side. Maybe gently look up. Exhale, sweep down. Inhale, back up. 2 more times. Down and around. One more. Exhale, down and around. Okay, bring those hands down through heart center. Might have noticed that your shoulders are starting to get a little bit of a workout by holding your hands up. Now my feet are crossed right behind the left. Switch it out so that it's the other way, and it's going to feel really awkward. So this is really getting into our bodies, right? So just figure out a way. If you had left foot kicked out or right foot kicked out, switch it to the other one. Otherwise, sit the opposite cross leg, right? Try and see if you can find a good space. It's going to feel weird, okay, just because we normally do something always on one way, and that's not wrong, but we want to be able to give the body some balance. So now that I've gotten my cross-legged the other way, inhaling the hands all the way up, exhale down through heart center. One more time, big inhale all the way up. Interlace those fingers, look to the sky, point all the way up. Now we're going to come over to the left side, so tip over to the left side. Dive forward as you exhale. Inhale through the right all the way up. We'll do this 4 more times. Exhale, circle down. Maybe your back and your shoulders are feeling good. And we can reach a little further. Maybe we can lean into this. Again, if you have any issues with the lower back, stay a little higher. It's not how big the circle is. It's about just feeling the motion, noticing how your spine can flex both laterally and also be able to get you to go in giant circles. One last time. Inhale all the way up and exhale those hands down. All right, so we've learned a little bit now about our shoulders, our back. We've started with our breathing. We've taken notice that somehow sitting on one way is different than the other way. Just remember that through your practice, that one side is always going to feel a little different. You're usually doing one thing more often on one side of your body than the other. Let's go ahead and come into our first tabletop position. Spread your fingers nice and wide, shoulders away from your ears, knees underneath your hips, and your toes are tucked. From here, I just want you to press your butt back towards your heels and stretch the plantar surface of the foot. Now, this might be enough for you. If you'd like to walk those hands in a little bit further, you can get a bit more of a lengthening of the spine. But I really want you to focus on pressing your heels back and your butt towards your heels. Now that we've got this position here and we've got a good stretch going on, go ahead and come back into a kneeling plank. So inhale to the kneeling plank. Don't drop the hips, just stay level, squeeze your bum, and then push it back again. Inhale back into the kneeling plank, and then exhale, push back into the plantar stretch. 2 more, inhale, exhale, push back, inhale, and exhale, push back. If you want a little bit more out of this, lift your front foot as you come into your plank, squeeze your butt, point your toe, place the foot down, bring the heel towards your bum, and do it on the other side. So lift and starting to squeeze your glute, and come down. Inhale, lift, exhale, place it down, big stretch. Inhale, lift, and place it down. Adding on if we want more. Inhale and bend your knee and squeeze it so that your heel comes towards your bum on the opposite side. Lift up, bend the knee, and try and squeeze your heel to the opposite butt cheek. So my front foot goes to my back butt cheek. Come down, keeping a nice long spine. We're not dropping our bellies. One more time. Go ahead, pull back, lift up and squeeze. Last time, pull back, up and squeeze. Go ahead and bring the knees outside of the hips. Big toes touch, flat foot, and then push your butt back and down. All right, let's walk those hands out as far as we can. Lengthening through your lats, pulling yourself forward. It's an active stretch, so let's walk our hands as far forward as we can. Bring our chest down and our heads down towards the mat. Couple of more deep breaths here. Hopefully we're starting to feel our feet getting that stretch from that previous flow. We're going to come into our first downward facing dog. So walk your hands underneath your shoulders, spread your fingertips nice and wide, tuck your toes, feet are hip distance apart, send your hips high into the sky. Let's go ahead and let the head hang, look between your knees. Let's walk the dog. So drop your front heel down, bend your back knee, and then swap it for the other one. And now we're starting to get into the calves a little bit more. So we're in the plantar surface of the foot. We are in an inversion, so your head is hanging lower than your heart. So you are getting a bit of a blood pressure change. And we're stretching out these calves by pressing the heels to the bottom of the mat. Now if your heels don't quite touch, don't worry about it. I need you to feel the stretch in your calves. As long as you're feeling that, you're doing a wonderful job. A couple of more times with this pedal. And then we're going to press both of our heels to the back. Send your hips high, bringing your rib cage towards your thighs. Really rooting down through every finger. Lift the front foot all the way up high into the sky. Rotate the ankle a few times. And we're going to pull that knee up into the chest. Look between your hands and place your foot down. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with the other foot. We're going to step it right beside the first one. Hands are going to come halfway up your shin. Shoulders pull back and down. And then exhale, let it go to the ground. One more time, a halfway hold, shoulders away from the ear, flatten out that back. Exhale, let it go down to the mat. Take a step back with the back foot. Take a step back with the front foot.
Realign yourself, and then bring the back foot all the way up into the sky. Three-legged dog. Root down through your fingers, let your head hang. Rotate your ankle in one direction. Rotate your ankle in the other direction. Really pull that knee right up into the chest. Curve that spine, look between your hands, and then see if you can place that foot down. We're going to step that front foot back into the top of the mat. Inhale to a halfway hold, and then exhale, let it go. One more time, inhale, halfway hold. Exhale, let it go. Let's come to standing this time. Inhale all the way up. And exhale down through the heart center, strong mountain pose, shoulders back and down. Inhale, rise all the way up. Let's swan dive down. Soften your knees, take your hands out to the side, bring them down to the mat. Take a step back with one foot. Take a step back with the other. Go ahead and drop to your knees. Come to that kneeling plank. Now elbows stay close to your ribs as you lower your chest down. Chest is on the mat, feet flat, hands at your shoulder. Press up and look down. We're going to lower with an exhale. We're going to do it again. Inhale, press your feet flat on the floor, waking up the back now. Exhale, come down. One more time. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, come down. Tuck your toes, push back into your child's pose. Go ahead and come into downward facing dog. Bring your right foot high up into the sky. Go ahead and bend your knee and bring it to your opposite butt cheek. Rotate that ankle in one direction. Rotate the ankle in the other direction. Is your head hanging? Are you pressing into all of your fingers? Pull the knee into your chest as you exhale. Place the foot down between your hands. Go ahead and step up. Inhale to your halfway hold. Exhale to your forward fold. Inhale your hands all the way up to the sky. Exhale them down through the center. Rise them up all the way. Swan dive down. Soften the knees. Hands all the way up to the side. Step back with one foot. Step back with the other. Go ahead and drop to your knees. Inhale to a plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale your baby cobra. Exhale, push back, child's pose. Come into downward facing dog. Lifting the back leg up. Bend your knee and let it drop over to the front. Rotate the ankle in one direction. Rotate the ankle in the other. Let the head hang. Press equally into both hands. Exhale, pull the knee up into the chest. Place the foot down. Take a giant step up to the top. Inhale to your halfway hold. Exhale to your forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, down through the heart center. Inhale, rise all the way up. And swan dive down. Soften the knees. Take a step back, one foot. Take a step back with the other. Option, kneeling plank or come into high plank. Exhale, lower down. Elbows still brush the ribs. Feet flat on the floor. Inhale, maybe you come up to a full cobra. Tuck your toes, come back to downward facing dog or child's pose to downward facing dog. Right foot lifted high up into the sky. Go ahead and bend your knee. Rotate the ankle in one direction. Rotate the ankle in the other direction. Pull the knee into the chest. Place the foot down. Go ahead, step it up. Inhale to your halfway hold. Exhale to your forward fold. Inhale, rise up. Hands together, soften your knees and sit into your first chair pose. Knees come towards your toes. Butts back and down. Keeping your chest lifted, we're going to just lift our front heel. Go ahead and bring it back down. Lift your back heel. Go ahead and bring it down. Inhale, standing all the way up. Sink it back down. It was a little reprieve. Come back down. Front heel, lift it up. Back heel, lift it up. Both heels down. Inhale, rise it on up. Last time through. Exhale, deeper into your chair if you can. Lift your right heel. Lift your left heel. Both heels come all the way up. And we're going to hold this balance. Now, with this balance, we're going to inhale those hands all the way up. Stay on your tippy toes if you can. And then exhale your hands through heart center. One more time. Inhale, hands all the way up. See if you can touch those fingers together. Bring them down through the heart center. Drop your heels down. Inhale, rise all the way up. Swan, dive down. Those quads should be burning. Step back one foot. Step back the other. a chaturanga, knees or toes. Inhale to a plank. Exhale, lower down. You can hold your knees off, flip the feet over, and come into an up dog, which means your knees are off the mat. Exhale, push back into downward facing dog. Back foot high into the sky. Bend the knee, let it drop. Rotate the ankle one direction. Rotate the ankle the other direction. Knee into chest as you exhale, place that foot down. Take a giant step up. Inhale, halfway hold. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up. Right into your chair, butts back and down, knees towards your toes. Sink into your heels. Lift your toes up this time. So we're on our heels and our toes are lifted. Keep your toes lifted. Come all the way back into a strong standing pose and do it again. See if your toes can stay lifted. Sit the butt back and down. Really balancing and using your heels. One more time. Inhale, toes are still lifted. Look up. Exhale, bring your back elbow to your front knee. Twist. Are your toes still up? Inhale all the way up. You should be feeling a nice stretch over the top of your feet. We don't get a chance to use these toes very much in shoes. Let's work them now. Inhale all the way up. Place your toes down. Come into your chair. Sink down. Pop up onto those toes now, lifting your heels. Stay on your toes. Come all the way to standing now. We're trying balance. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, sink down. Don't worry if you have to tap down. Just have some fun with this one. One more time. On your tippy toes, we're going to come to standing. See how tall you can get. Squeeze your butt, brace your core, reaching up. And then you're going to take your front elbow to your back knee as you come into your chair. Are we still on our tippy toes? Whew. One more time. Inhale all the way up. You're challenging balance, using a lot of coordination here. You're working the feet, the legs. We're breathing. One more time. Inhale all the way up. Drop your heels down. Bring your hands through heart center. How did we do? Let's finish off. Inhale all the way up. Swan dive down. Take a step back with one foot. Take a step back with the other. Rest or do a chaturanga of your choice. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, rise yourself up. Exhale, push back. Drop to your knees. Big toes touch, child's pose. Nice deep breath here. We're going to get into some warrior poses next. But we should be nice and warm now. Our feet should be good. We've lifted our hands up over our heads. We'll get a little bit more into twists. We started with a couple of twists in our chair poses, but we'll get a little bit deeper when we go into our warriors. If and when you're ready, you can come up and do another chaturanga. Otherwise, just skip it. Or maybe it's time for you to get something to drink. Remember, you can always take a drink whenever you need to. Don't worry about trying to follow the class in its entirety. It's your body, so make sure you're taking care of it. Let's walk the dog a couple of times. You can continue to walk the dog. You can stay in child's pose. Or like I said, you can join me with the chaturanga. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, push back. Okay, let's lift our back leg up. Lift it all the way up into the sky. We're going to pull the knee into the chest, place that foot down. We're going to drop our back heel on the diagonal, and we're going to lift up to our warrior one. All right, so hips are square to the front. If your hips are still out to the side, just step it in. It's okay, all right? And knee can pass the ankle. Sometimes we talk about the knee being directly over the ankle, but if you can get a little bit deeper and open up those hips, that's totally fine, okay? So what we want to do is just make sure that the knee is tracking towards the second and third toe so that we're not deviating that knee inward or outward to cause extra pressure on that knee joint. So really it's the direction straight that is more concerning. We don't want it to deviate out. All right, so now we've sunk into our warrior one. Let's go ahead and make it into a warrior two. So reaching those hands out, and now we're turning our hips. This is where we might want to open up that stance a little bit more. Reaching our hands nice and far, thumbs up. Let's go ahead and bring our front hand down as the other one goes up. We're just reaching down. Now elbow to the thigh is fine, or just reach. And then inhale and exhale the other way. Look up at that thumb if you can. Inhale, exhale, lower down. Getting these side body buns. Inhale and exhale, look up to the sky.
inhale flat, straight, and then exhale, turn to the front. Inhale the hands up, back bend, and exhale, lean forward. One more time, big reversal. Inhale, exhale, reach forward. Your front hand, windmill it back, and you're back to the start with our warrior two. How's that leg doing? Anytime you need to take a break, please do. All right, let's do it one more time. Take that front hand, dip it down. Exhale, inhale, exhale, reach, look to the sky, and go again. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, sweep all the way to the front. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, reach forward. One more time, inhale those hands up. Exhale, lean forward. Front hand, revolve it back to warrior two. And then let's go ahead, reverse this warrior one last time. Sweeping those hands all the way to the top of the mat. Take a giant step up to the top. Inhale to the halfway hold. Exhale to the forward fold. Step back with one. Step back with the other. Walk your dog, take a break with chaturanga. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, push back. Drop to the knees. Child's pose. And tell me how that one quad on that leg feels. The one that you had in front of you. That one was doing most of the work. Now, depending on how low you go in your lunge, depends on how much more you're going to ask that quad to work. So again, if you're starting to feel fatigued because we're going on to the second side, then don't worry about getting to the same depth. But if you want to challenge yourself today, then you try and get a little bit deeper with me. All right? Let's go ahead and take our hips to the front. Just shift them off of your mat to the front. Let's do it to the back. Let's come back to your center. And let's go ahead and come into downward facing dog. Again, option just to walk your feet here. Do any type of chaturanga you want. Just let your head hang. Breathe. And when you're ready to go, let's flow. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, push it back. Front leg high up into the sky. Exhale, pull that knee right up into the chest. Scoop the core up. And then place the foot down. You can always help it. Drop your back heel on the diagonal. And inhale, rise up to your warrior one. Hips are squared. Check that knee alignment. Again, knee tracks towards second and third toe. Deeper you go, a little bit more hip opening, a lot more quad. All right, so now that we've got this here, we're going to take it to our warrior two. So the front knee doesn't change. That is still staying the same, but you can walk that back one out a little bit more. Flip the thumbs up. All right, now that we've got this and we can sink down, we have our shoulders back. Just tip forward. It's all about the tip, not the legs. The legs are holding you steady. Inhale, exhale, reverse. Inhale, exhale, tip. Inhale, how strong are those legs? How stable are you? Do you need to come up a little? It's okay. One more time. Elbow can also find your thigh. Good. Using your side flexion. One more time. Reach it up. Good. Go ahead and come to face the front. Sweep those hands out. So we're back into almost a warrior one. Inhale the hands all the way up. Go ahead and lean forward. See if you can deepen that lunge. Inhale, reverse it back. One more time. Exhale, forward. Reverse it back. Exhale, come forward. It's the backhand now that swivels and you're back into your warrior two. Last time through. Tip it forward. Inhale, exhale, reverse. One more time. Tip forward. Come back. Reach up. Look at that thumb. And now twist to the front, hands out wide. Go ahead, inhale, back bend. And then exhale, reach forward. One more time. Back bend. Exhale, reach forward. Backhand swivels. Good. Reverse your warrior one last time. Sweep those hands down to the top of the mat. Take a giant step to the top. Inhale to a halfway hold. Exhale to a forward fold. Oh my goodness. Inhale, halfway hold.
Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Let's swan dive down. Whew. Take a step back with one foot. Take a step back with the other. Chaturanga if you need it. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, push back. Drop into your child's pose. Grab some water, whatever you need to do. Those quads were lit. Whew. Okay. So again, side bends, strengthening those legs. Let's take the hips all the way off the mat to the back. And then again over to the front. And let's go ahead and come back through center. We're going to come into some balancing work. So we're going to come into all fours. Fingertips spread nice and wide, knees underneath your hips. If you need to protect your knees, go ahead and roll up your mat, okay? You can double up the mat anytime you need to protect those knees. Okay, hands underneath the shoulders. And we also have the trick for the hands. If you're wrist fatigue, roll up the mat. Fingertips are lower than your wrists. Okay, so I've got extra padding on my knees, and I'm taking some of the pressure off my wrist to remind myself to push into my fingertips because my fingers are now lower than my wrists. Think about ladies or gents, if you've done any kind of ballroom dancing, gents, you'd be in those heels. If you are on an elevated surface of the heel, like a platform shoe or anything like that, you would know that you have to put a lot more pressure in the balls of your feet. You are also doing that with your fingertips, taking the pressure then off of your wrists. All right, so hopefully that's a visualization. Now that we're here, we're going to lift our back leg out. Okay, point your toe down. So you've got a flex in the heel, and energy shoots out of that heel. Now that we've gotten this, we're going to walk our front hand, opposite hand out. Okay, once we've gotten that one, you're going to lift up your hand. If you need to at any time, go ahead and place that front hand down. It's okay. We are going to now bend the knee to kick our bum. We've done this once before. And then we're going to extend it out. Okay? So kick crossing the opposite butt cheek with the heel and extend it out. 2 more times. Exhale. And inhale. 1 more time. Exhale. And inhale. Keep your heel towards your bum. Okay? And now what we're going to do is take our hand and reach for that foot. If you can actually hold onto your foot, go ahead and grab it. We're going to press our hand and our foot together, arch our back, and look up. Hold it here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Place your front hand down. Take your knee, scoop it up, and place it down in front of you. Okay, so now we've got that back leg in the front. Hands on the sides of the front foot. Walk that front foot up a little bit and then sink your hips in. Okay, so it's nice now stretch for the hip flexors on that front leg. Sink it back. And again, you can walk your hands with you. And you don't have to come as far as me. And now we're getting the hamstring in the front one. Or in the leg. Back leg to the camera, front leg in front of your face. Again, that wording stuff, yeah? Go ahead and come back into the hip flexor stretch. Again, knee can pass the toes, I'm not worried about that, but again, 2nd and 3rd toe alignment, and then press it back. So we're going to come into the hip flexor stretch, but we're going to bring both hands on the inside of your foot, and you're going to walk your foot out off of your mat. Turn your toe on the diagonal and sink into it this way. Okay. So my toe's turned out. Hopefully you can see that the toe is turned out, and I've got a much wider stance here. If you're comfortable, you can walk yourself up onto your knee and sit your hips forward so that we're almost in a warrior 2, but we are kneeling instead. Okay? We are going to be able to take this stretch a little bit deeper. We can inhale the hands all the way up. You can take the hand, same one as the front leg, and put your elbow onto the knee. Now, if this is good, you can have your hand on your hip, the other one, or you can have it reaching out. If you want to increase this one, pull that top hand behind you and go ahead and look as you open up your chest, as you push against your leg and your back hand, squeezing your shoulder blades together, drop your hips. That should be a really big, deep hip opener, as well as a chest opener, because you've got your hands open and you're getting a hip flexor stretch. Bring those hands all the way back down to the floor. Walk that foot back. And let's do everything on the other side. Hopefully we're getting some strengthening and stretching with this one. So again, I rolled up my mat. My fingertips are lower than my wrists. My knees are protected with the double up. Shoulders back and down, pulling the belly up, and then sending the front leg out. Okay. Once we've got that energy through the heel, point the toe down, really squeeze your butt so that the energy is coming from your butt and your core is pulling up so that we've got the strength in length. We walk our back hand out, and if we're good, we lift it up and hold it. Now comes the movement. Keep your heel flexed and bring it to the opposite butt cheek. You should feel your quad stretching and lengthening. So we squeeze and lengthen the quad using the butt, and then we return it. 2 more times. Squeeze and out. 1 more. Squeeze, lengthen, and out. Bring your heel to your bum. Go ahead and reach around, see if you can find your foot. If you found your foot, you may press your foot into your hand and arch the back. If you've got good balance and you want to start to gaze up, giving your cervical spine a little bit more as well as your thoracic, you're going to release your hand, place it down, pull that front knee right up into your chest, bring it through, and we're going to walk our hands forward. Okay. Again, you can walk that foot a little bit more forward, knee, center of knee, tracking towards second and third toe, sink it on in. Okay, foot flat, that's personal, tuck the toe, I like tucking my toe. So this is a hip flexor stretch for your back leg. And then we're going to send our hips towards our heel, and we're lengthening out here. Now you can keep a bend in the knee. You can walk your hands to wherever it feels right. If you have your hands forward and you're pushing your butt back, you're getting a bit of a stretch in your back as well as your hamstring. But if you need the support, don't worry about the back stretch and just focus on the hamstring. That's what I really want you to work on. But if you want to reach those hands forward, you'll be able to stretch the back as well. Let's come forward into the hip flexor again. Bring the knee forward, sinking the hips down. And then release it back. Couple more nice, deep, relaxing breaths here as we're getting our stretch on. Coming forward into the hip flexor. And then send it back. Now again, if this particular forward and backwards is doing wonders for you, feel free to stay there. If you want to come into a deeper hip stretch, a little bit more of a chest opening, walk your hands on the inside. And then once your hands are on the inside of that front foot, walk that foot out to where it feels good to you so that you've opened up your hip and turn the toe out. Once you've done that, we can walk ourselves up just to see how it feels. Put your elbow on your thigh and come on up and then sink into it. See how that feels. You should have a nice opening of the hips. Okay. And you can stay right here. If you want a little bit more, of course, you can reach that hand and you're prying open your chest just by letting that hand drop behind you. If you feel like you can go for a little bit more, slide your elbow down towards your knee. And then, to get the most out of this one, if you're at this point, you look up at the hand above you, and then you squeeze them both open. You're pressing your elbow against your thigh. You're bringing the other one behind you, letting gravity pull it down towards the ground, sending your hips down, and just breathing here. Again, hip flexor, chest opener, hip opener. Bring those those hands down to the floor. Walk your foot in towards the tabletop position, and let's smooth out our mat. All right, so we've relaxed a little bit, we've stretched a little bit here. Fingertips spread nice and wide. Let's go ahead and go through another flow, and then we'll take it to some standing balance, and then we'll bring it down for some more stretching. All right, roll the shoulders back and down. Tuck your toes. Come on up to a downward facing dog. Chaturanga, knees or toes or rest, always the choice. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, push it back. Front leg high up into the sky. Bend your knee, pull it into the chest. Place your foot down. Take a giant step up to the top. Inhale to your halfway hold. Exhale to your forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, sit into your chair. Inhale, pop up onto your toes. Get up nice and high. Stay on those toes. Come down into your chair. Already with the balancing. Good. One more time. Inhale up. Stay on those tippy toes. Twist to the front. Back elbow finds front knee. Inhale all the way up. Let those heels drop if you need to. Otherwise, we're really working these feet, these inner thighs, the core, doing all our balancing. Inhale, rise it on up. Swan dive down, heels drop. Step back one foot, step back the other. Optional chaturanga, walk the dog. Choices, choices. Make this your practice today. All right, we're going to do the same thing with the back leg. Lift it up, three-legged dog. Arch your back, really exhale, pull the knee into the chest, and then you can scoop that foot forward. Go ahead and step the other one forward. Inhale to a halfway hold. Exhale to a forward fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, sink into your chair, pull your toes up, pull your toes up, pull your toes up. Once the toes are up, go ahead and inhale, rise it on up, toes stay up. Twist to the back. Good. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, twist to the front, toes are still up. Inhale, rise all the way up. Sink deep into your chair, toes are still lifted. And then we're going to take a dive down, toes are still lifted. With your toes lifted, take your front hand and sweep it underneath so that you are stepping on your palm. Your toes are touching your wrists. Okay. And then you can do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so those toes are still lifted, but now we have our palms doing the work. All right, if this feels good, I want you to sink into your heels, bend your knees, and elbows, pull them out to the side as you round your spine over your thighs. Nice deep breath here. Let's release the bend in the elbow so that it's just light. And then lift your front heel off and press into your palm with your foot. Okay? And then put your heel back down. Do it on the other side. Now, if there's any kind of great pain in pressing down onto your palms, then just stay with both heels down. But if you want to try and balance onto your palms, getting some pressure onto those finger flexors, you can go ahead, lift up both of your heels, and try and balance on your palms. Okay, you're getting the benefit of some pressure onto those fingers, onto those muscles that do so much work, especially on smartphones these days, still the laptops and computers. So once we've balanced a few times, go ahead and push your heels down. Unhook the hands one at a time. Inhale to your halfway hold. Exhale to your forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale to heart center. All right, we're speeding it up a last time through our series. Inhale all the way up. Forward fold down. I think it's our first forward fold. Just straight down. Take a step back, one foot. Take a step back, the other. Chaturanga optional. Inhale forward. Exhale lower. Inhale rise. Exhale push back. Back leg high into the sky. Pull the knee into the chest. Place it down. Drop your front heel on the diagonal. Rise it up. Warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Thumbs up. Spread those legs. Sink deep. Take that hand and tip it forward. Inhale, exhale, back. Inhale, exhale, down. Inhale, exhale, back. And inhale, Sweep yourself all the way to the front. Go ahead into your back bend. Dive forward, reach on in. One more time, back bend, reaching forward, stay forward. Lifting your heel on the back foot. So now we have got both toes facing forward, both heels in alignment. Walk, walk, and come into warrior three, into your balance. Take your hands out to the side, thumbs up. If you're good, your hands stay exactly as they are. We're just going to twist. Bring your back hand down, your top hand, it goes up. And then we're going to bring it back to a flat back. Thumbs up, we're good. This one's tough. Sweep the other hand down, twist. Now using all those core muscles, trying to balance. I'm tapping down. Bring it back, bring it back. All the different aspects of balancing here while moving. Bring yourself to stand, hands up to the sky, and swan dive down. Take a step back with one foot. Take a step back with the other. Again, a chaturanga or walk the dog with me. If you're chaturanga, inhale to come forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, push back. We should all be in our downward facing dog. It is the front foot. Lift it up high into the sky. Pull the knee into the chest. Place the foot down. Drop the back heel on the diagonal. Warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Open up the stance. Sink deep. Thumbs up. When you're ready, pull the shoulders back. Just tip from the hips. Legs are strong. Inhale. Exhale. Look up at the thumb if you can. And inhale. Exhale. Can you feel the side obliques really working for you? And up. Reach the walls. And then reach for the sky and the floor. And come back through center. Sweep yourself into a front-facing position. Sweep the hands into a back bend. And exhale. Put the weight into that front foot. Again, inhale into the back bend. And exhale into the front foot. Weight is in that front foot. Lean forward. Lift your back heel. You can just float right up into warrior three or hop yourself, whichever works for you. Now you can stay here or you can try the movement. Bring those hands out to the side. The thumbs are facing up. You're trying to make yourself into a T, but don't worry about it if your T looks a little bit more like this, okay? No problem with the foot down. Now we're just going to try to bring that front fingertip down, and the other one is going to come all the way up to the sky. Take your time. Feel how much your foot has to compensate. It's working really hard with your core and your leg muscles to try and stabilize as you move. The hips are shifting. Let's go ahead and bring our hips back to neutral. Okay, and we're going to sweep the other way. This one's more challenging. It has less room to move. And we're just trying to find a twist that other way. Bring yourself into a flat back. Bring that foot down and inhale the hands up. Exhale, swan dive down. Take a step back with one foot. Take a step back with the other. Last chaturanga of the class, I promise. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, push it back. Walk to the center of your mat and have a seat. Whew. All right. We're back into our cross-legged position. And you've probably chose the position that normally you do. So let's go ahead and switch it to the other one. So once you've swapped it out, have a little seat and place your hands on your knees. Roll your shoulders back and down. Tuck your chin. Bring it over to the right shoulder. Now what we're looking for here is to see if we have a little bit more range of motion. Maybe if there is a knot that we could feel as we were doing this. Maybe it's loosened a little bit. Maybe if you're really lucky, it's gone away entirely. One more time, scooping down and around. Bring your chin to your chest. Inhale your hands all the way up. Interlace your fingers all the way up. Squeeze your triceps into your ears really long. And keeping both butt cheeks down, just tip over to the right side. Inhale all the way up, over to the other side. Eyes eyes open or closed, but you're really reaching for the sky. You're squeezing your head between your arm, and you're just bending at the side body. And back up. Go ahead and release those hands down. Take the feet out nice and wide. And once you've gotten your feet nice and wide, place your hands behind you, and you can shift your hips a little bit forward to open up a bit more. And we're going to walk our hands in front of us. Again, you can keep your knees soft. If it's at all too much, just bring the knees back in or bring your legs back in a little bit more and keep the knees bent. Okay? So if you ever at any point need a little bit more, hands behind you, shift the hips forward, and you're going to be able to open up the adductors a little bit further. Just lean on forward. Okay, we've done this stretch when we were kneeling. We're going to continue with this stretch here in this open leg. You can go ahead and bring your right hand to your right knee or calf. And if you're good here, just taking your opposite hand and opening it up. Now, if this is enough, you're pressing your hand into the ground and you're pushing your shoulder forward as you reach this one behind. Now, you can stabilize on your leg, and if you can't get your hand all the way to the floor, you do not have yoga blocks around you, feel free to stay up a little bit higher here. If you're able to put your hand on the floor, you're able then to use the floor to do that twist. Now, if your hip flexors and your hamstrings, they're usually very tight from being seated because our knees are usually bent when we're seated. So if you have very tight hamstrings, you're probably not going to want to get to this next posture. But if you have the opening, you might be able to lean down and bring your elbow down to the floor. Elbow tucks in, and you're able to then press the elbow to really do the similar twist. Hips are open, chest is open. Look behind, cervical spine active because we're looking around and over our shoulder. Bring this top hand, scoop it down and place it down, and then we can walk ourselves up so that we're not straining our back muscles. We'll do it again on the other side again if you want to open up, because now the muscles have relaxed slightly more. You can press your hips forward and see if you can get into a slightly wider stance and walk the hands forward. Again, opening up further is not necessary, but if you're good, go ahead and place your hand on your shin or on the floor. We don't want to place our hand on our knee. There's a lot of things that go on in the knee. Pressing the knee down and backwards is not something you want to do. That's not a natural movement for the knee, so we want to avoid pressing on the knee. If you need to, go onto your hamstring or go onto your calf. If you can, place your hand down on the floor and press into the ground. I'm just going to lift the other hand up. Okay, so we're just seeing how this feels. This hand reaches behind you, so it floats behind you, and you look up. And then with the hand on the floor, this is where you're going to be able to really push this front shoulder forward and pull this top shoulder back. Just some nice deep breathing. Getting a bunch of different openings. Again, really opening up that chest. We usually sit forward fold, so we're doing a lot of good by opening up these hands. Again, opening up the hips, lengthening through the hamstrings. If you feel like you're able to get down a little further, and again, each side is different. Try and get the elbow down. This side is a lot tighter for me, but my elbow does make it down, although I do feel the difference. It might not look like a difference, but I certainly feel the difference. And that's another key. I can see when people are practicing that they're in the right posture, but sometimes they feel it very differently. So where we should be feeling this one is definitely in the hamstring and the adductor. Okay? And I want you to feel the opening when you lift your hands up, whether you're here or whether you're down here. And then you're just allowing with each breath, as you inhale, pull the bottom shoulder forward and release the top shoulder back. Exhale, and then inhale, open up. Now I'm doing this for you to see, so you can actually see as I'm exhaling, I come forward, and I inhale and I pull back. But
but it doesn't have to be visible. It should be a deep feeling. Even a micromillimeter is all that you need to do. As you exhale, just soften, and as you inhale, see if you can get a little bit more length and space. To safely get out of this one, it's the top hand that comes down, and place it down in front of you, and then you can walk up without using the back muscles to pull you back up. Okay? Let's go ahead and grab these knees, especially if you're in a wide stance like me, and bring them together. And then we're leaning back. Feet are still nice and wide. Just drop your knee in between, and the other one, keep it elevated. Okay? The other one now, keeping that knee as high as you can, pointing to the sky, and just drop this one in. Okay, so now we're getting internal rotation at the hip. We had a lot of external in that last stretch. One more time, just bringing that right knee down to the floor. See if you can get that left knee to squeeze in towards it. And then bring yourself back up. That right knee stays pointed to the sky as much as you can. Your left knee comes down. And again, it can get to the floor, it might not. And then if you can, you're trying to make like a little sandwich out of your feet by squeezing your thigh in. This one I have a little bit more ability to squeeze in, but we want this knee down and this knee over. And then let's release it. All right, let's go ahead and lie on our mats. We'll continue with this type of hip stretch. So hold on to the knees. If you're a rock iron roller, roll up. Let's really curl up into a ball. It's more like a Pilates thing. But we're really going to tuck in, and then we're going to roll back, keeping the spine nice and rolled, and then come back up. Okay? If that's not for you, just lie on your back. But if you're good, tuck that chin and roll up and tap down. If you want, maybe try to balance. If the core is working, just try and balance on your butt. Roll back, keep the spine curved, come up. One more time. And up. And then let's everybody just roll down. Place the feet down on the floor. Take your hands up nice and wide. Okay, walk your feet out wide so that they're just slightly off the mat. I'm not quite centered in my mat, so get a little bit more centered. My feet are just slightly off the mat. And now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take that front foot, you're just dropping it down. The other knee stays up. And now we're lying on our back, so we're not using any muscles to sit up. Our core is relaxed, our shoulders are relaxed, our jaw, our faces are relaxed. Now here's the thing, if you want a little bit more, you've got your leg, that knee is bent. You can lift up that foot, place it on top of the knee that's already closer to the ground, and then just let both of those feet or knees fall down to the ground. So you've got the top foot giving extra weight by allowing the foot to, with gravity, pull down and getting a little bit more of an internal rotation, relaxation of the spine. This hip is going to lift up a little bit out of compensation, but that's okay. Just relax the shoulders and take a deep breath in. And if this is getting a little too much, you're noticing that there's some sensation that you don't particularly like for the knee or in the hip or in the ankle, then just double up those legs and come into a regular twisted supine twist. Let's do a couple more breaths here. This is really nice to release tension in the lower back. Definitely getting that internal rotation after all the external work that we've done. If you have your foot on top of the knee, go ahead and release it down. Walk your foot that was on top of your knee so that it is placed firmly back down on the ground, and then you can press into it to bring the other foot up. It's just bringing yourself back out the way that we got into it, so that way we don't put any unnecessary stress on muscles trying to maneuver our legs, our limbs into a different position. So again, knees both facing up, back knee, drop it down to the ground. Again, it doesn't have to touch. Mine is not touching. And this might be where you want to stay.
Option 1, just bring those knees together and come into a regular supine twist. Or option 2, see if you can bring that front foot on top of your knee. The heel is just gently placed on the side of the leg, and then both now are just, gravity is just pulling both of the knees down. Now again, we're going to recheck in with our shoulders and our face. Just soften your jaw, soften the eyes, maybe gently shake your head side to side. Just allowing this nice gravity to help us with our twists. A lot of the day we are forcing ourselves to work against gravity by standing, by lifting, especially even sitting when we have our head leaning forward. We're really working against gravity there because we are not stacked naturally. We are tipped forward, and that makes your head even more challenging to keep upright, puts a lot of stress on those shoulders, on the back muscles. So right now we're just relaxing all of the back, all of the shoulders, and gravity is working with us to pull us down and keep us connected to the ground. Again, to safely get out of this one, if you have your foot on top of your knee, just let that foot come back down. Gravity is just going to help it right down to the ground. And then just heel toe so that you can walk your foot flat. And once that foot is flat, you're in the position where you started off, and you can lift the other knee back up and then walk those feet in. Heels close to the bum. We're just going to do one bridge to release the back, so bring those hands palms face down by your side, pull the shoulders away from the ears, rock your head side to side, and then slowly elevate your pelvis, squeeze your bum, push your knees straight down to the bottom of your mat, and then slowly come down vertebrae by vertebrae. We'll do that one more time. As you inhale, see if you can take your time to lift each individual vertebrae off of the mat one at a time. Big inhale, 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 all the way up to your personal height. Hold it here. Take a deep breath in. And then slowly roll down vertebrae by vertebrae until you get down to the ground. Now if you like your palms facing down, they can stay there. But if you'd like to let those palms flip over and face the sky, you can do that. Your knees can just touch as they fold in against one another, or you can lengthen out completely into a traditional Shavasana. If you're okay, one leg at a time comes out, let the feet fall out. And again, we'll just do a little scan here. We were up on those toes and onto those heels a lot. So wiggle your toes and then flex so that your toes come towards your shins, and then point your toes so they are furthest away from your body. One more time, flexing and then pointing. One more time with the flex, and then just relax and let those feet fall out to the side. Now a lot of us hold tension in our lower back. Sometimes it's in our glutes and we don't even realize it. I'm going to ask you to really concentrate on this next thing. It's not a big movement, but it is going to be squeezing just the front butt cheek. The left one just relaxes. So go ahead and squeeze it, and you see that my hip lifts on the front side and stays down on the back. And then I'm going to release that muscle, the glute muscles, and you'll see that my hip comes back down again. Same thing, front glute, squeeze it up. And then let it go down. Think about your other butt cheek, squeeze it up. You should feel your hip lifting and the other one stays naturally down. And let it go. One more time, squeezing only the back butt cheek, lifting up that back hip. And then let it go. We'll do both together. So go ahead and squeeze your butt cheek. Your hips should come up equally at the same time. And then let it go. One more time, both butt cheeks, lift it up, squeeze as much as you can, and then let it go. Bringing your awareness now into your abdominals.
Take a deep breath in and really expand your abs. Really open up the chest. And then exhale. Squeeze down. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Breathe, separating the rib cage from one another, lifting up that chest. And exhale, let it go. Shoulders. I want you to go ahead and tuck one of your shoulders underneath. And then do the same thing on the other side. Tuck the shoulders underneath. And then tuck your chin in and press your tailbone down. See if you can try and flatten your spine, even though you've got your shoulder blades tucked underneath so that your chest is elevated. So my chest, my pectorals are elevated. And then I'm trying to bring the base of my rib cage down to the floor. It's almost like a little bit of a fish pose. We're trying to keep the lower part of our spine connected, and then we're just getting an arch in the chest, and the shoulders are squeezing underneath. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale, relax those shoulders and just let them slide out to where they feel good. And then wiggle our fingers. We're going to ball up a fist and bring it into a flex. And then we're going to release those fingers wide and open up your hands as much as you can. We'll do that again. Pull the fingers in, ball the fists up, and then flex at the wrists. Go ahead and release it all the way out. One more time, balling up. Make those fists. And then relax those hands down wherever it feels good. Gently rocking your head side to side. Nice and slow. Some of us might want to move a little faster, but I encourage you to go really slow and feel your head, the occipital ridge, the base of your skull. Just get a little bit of a massage as you turn your head side to side. If you've got your chin tucked enough, you should be able to get right on that occipital ridge there, right on the base of the skull, just to be able to go side to side. Again, a lot of the time we don't think about tucking the chin in when we're doing a side to side with the head, especially when we're lying down. So tuck it in and see how it feels. And then once you've done that a few times, just let the head relax into whatever position, maybe slightly off to the side, maybe it's completely stacked, that's a choice. Let your lips part. Just let the tongue pull away from the roof of the mouth. Just let it just be naturally in the back of the mouth. And soften around your eyes, forehead and eyebrows. And take a nice deep breath in. Find a little bit more relaxation in any part of your body that you personally know that you carry tension in. One more time, big deep inhale. And exhale. Just going to lay here in your silence. And again, we're just staying present in the moment. It's at this point we start to think about things that maybe we could be doing or have to do later. It might be other things that are occupying our mind that we just don't need right now. We've just spent a lot of time coordinating our breath, our body, our mind, our thoughts to be all one and in the moment. Let's just stay here in this relaxing state doing the same thing. So maybe trying to identify any noises you hear through the sound from the jungle. Maybe you're redoing your body scan. Maybe you're just following your breath. Maybe you're listening to sounds in your environment. That's fine too. It means you're present. If you are listening to sounds that are going on in your personal environment, you are there present in that environment. So, focus in and relax.
free to stay in your relaxation for as long as you need. If you'd like to wiggle fingers and toes, roll wrists and ankles. Maybe slide one foot towards your body, followed by the other one. Take those hands out like a T. Let the knees come to one side. Inhale all the way back up, and then exhale to the other side. Again, to get in cervical spine, inhale the knees up, drop the knees one way, look the other way. Inhale, and exhale the other way. Adding a little bit more on. Inhale, everything is neutral. Take your front hand, reach to the back, let your knees drop to the front. Look all the way to the back. Inhale, all the way neutral spine. Exhale, and float, getting a little bit more twist in the spine, but we're not using a lot of muscle because we're still lying on the back, letting gravity keep us in alignment. One more time, just flowing however works for you. Maybe it's just the knees, maybe it's just the head. Maybe it's everything like me with your arms flowing. And then we're going to come to that neutral spine. Choose a side to completely roll onto. Drop those knees. Bottom arm is your pillow. Top hand in front. Side lying posture. You might like to stay here for a little bit. I always really enjoy noticing how much gravity pulls on me differently when I'm lying on my side than when I'm on my back. Then to sit up, press the hand in front of the belly. Walk up with the other hand. Come back into seated posture. Let's rise those hands all the way up. Inhale, look up to the sky. Turn those palms out, tuck the chin, drive the chin down, hands down. One more time, palms up. Inhale, look up. Turn the palms out, dive the chin down. Bring those hands into heart center. Stack your head right on top of those shoulders. Thank you everyone for your practice. I hope you had some fun today doing a few different things, lots of twists, lots of lengthening, and hopefully when we stand up now we'll feel a lot lighter, leaner, stronger, and taller. And so have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, and I will see you soon.